In this video, I will be reviewing the Dyness 12V 100Ah battery. The main selling point of this battery is its price. If it passes my testing and looks good on the inside, this could be a real winner. I saw this battery on Amazon and I asked the company to send me one for testing. I want to test it because Dyness is not a small brand without experience. They're a serious energy storage company. I met them at a solar expo in Indonesia last year. They normally focus on larger residential and commercial battery systems, and now they make smaller batteries as well. It doesn't have Bluetooth or an internal heating system. It claims to have low temperature protection, where the charging stops at 0 degrees Celsius, so I will test this as well. It has a 100 amp BMS, and I will test if it has surge capability. Reviews online mention self-discharge issues. I suspect they come from that they charge to 14.6 volts, and then after the charging has stopped, it will drop down to the resting voltage of 13.3 volts after a few hours, which make them think it doesn't stay at 14.6 volts. But the drop in voltage is normal. All batteries charge to 3.65 volts per cell, and when the charger is disconnected, they rest at 3.3 volts per cell. And another reason they might think that the voltage is dropping is that they have an inverter attached to the battery, which at idle takes energy out of the battery. So I wouldn't be worried about these reviews. Let's move on to the testing. I ran a capacity test and I got 1331 watt hours or 104 amp hours from the battery. And that is to be expected for new 100 amp hour cells. Next, let's test the surge capability of the BMS. We'll apply a 150 amp load. So it didn't turn off at 160 amps, so let's now increase it to about 200 amps. And at 200 amps, the BMS turned off. So I emailed them and they told me the BMS can handle 300 amps for 5 seconds and 500 amps for 1 second. And it's also temperature dependent. So if the BMS inside gets too hot, it will shut itself off. This tells me there's quite a big BMS inside, which I will show you very soon when I open it up. Having surge current capability is the good thing in my opinion. I have added another battery in parallel, so let's see if they have current sharing issues. I charged the batteries to 100% and I have a 20 amp load, so each battery should deliver roughly 10 amps each. Let's measure the lead time battery first. And it delivers 10 amps. And the Dyness battery is delivering 11.5 amps. So that's okay. Let's test the over voltage charging protection of the BMS. I've set the power supply to 25 volts and let's see at what voltage the BMS shuts off. We are now at 14 volts. And the BMS turned off about 14.10 volts. So that's a good thing. And let's now open up the battery. This is how it looks inside. We have 6-gauge cable glued down against vibrations. I don't recognize the BMS, but we will take a look soon. Let me remove the BMS and battery from the case. So I'm trying to remove the battery pack from the case and noticed that the connection points with the welded bus bars are not straight. Let's take a look at the build quality. We have a custom Dyness BMS. It says 100 amps. We have 8-gauge negative cables to the negative battery post. The balancing cables are glued down, and we have the temperature sensor glued down as well on the battery cells. There is no separation between the BMS and the cells, only with a thick board. And we have corner braces on the sides and some material in between. Let's take a look at the top. The bus bars are welded, but as I've told you before, they're not very flat on the battery itself. I can feel a little bump here, but they seem to be all welded correctly. And the balancing cables are screwed down and with glue on it as well. The overpressure valves have holes in them, so let's remove these. And then we can see the balancing cables. So the BMS has a fiberboard underneath with some insulation pads as well. And they were on these straps. So I think that's sufficient. Let's now do the temperature tests of the BMS. Let's do the high temperature protection test first. I will add a 10 amp load and I will use a heat gun to heat up the temperature sensor. So the 10 amp load is on. And the discharging just stopped, so that is working. Next, let's test the low temperature protection. I have set the bench power supply to 14.6 volts. And let's start the charging. And then add the cold pack to the sensor. Now it's charging with 74 watts. And the charging has stopped, so that's good as well. And let's now recover. And it has to be over 5 degrees Celsius to recover. And has charged again. I followed up with Dyness about the bent bus bars. They explained that this is actually part of their quality control process. During production, they lift the edge of the bus bars to test the strength of the laser welds. If the weld isn't solid, it will break during this test. So while the bend may look concerning, it's a byproduct of testing and doesn't affect performance. This battery will cost you $128. For the build quality, that's great. If you want a good quality battery without Bluetooth, then this is the one. The positives of this battery are the advertised capacity, all the protections were great, the BMS has surge current capability, and it's very affordable. The negatives of this battery are that there is quite a lot of wasted space inside the battery case. You can get the $170 mini version, but that's $42 more. I have confirmed with the company that they use prismatic cells in the mini version. I prefer these over pouch cells. There is no Bluetooth, but there is a Bluetooth version available for $144 or $16 more. I'll post the link to the battery in the video description. If this review was helpful, please give it a like, and I will see you in the next one.